So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to build a tree from a matrix. Now you've already done this using the animals that we used in the clade race, but I'll bet you a lot of you looked at the animals and just matched them to the tree that you'd already built when we did the runner cards. So I want to make sure that you know how to do this. So given a matrix like this, you have the species going down on the left side and you have the traits along the top. And just like we saw in the clade race, a 1 represents that they have the trait, a 0 represents that they don't have the trait. So the very first thing I like to do is go through and highlight what these traits, where they group people together. So you can see for species, so for trait 1 you can see that everybody has the trait. So it's not really super informative to us on grouping the organisms together. Trait 2, you can see these two have it. Trait 3 is only in 1, so again not super informative. Trait 4, you can see that 2 of them have it. Trait 5 groups 4 of the organisms together because they all have it. Trait 6 groups these guys together. Trait 7 also. Trait 8 groups everybody but A together. 9 is just in one species, so that doesn't help us a ton. And then 10, again, we have these two grouping together. So if we go back, we can say, okay, for trait 1, we know that all of them are together. For trait 2, you can see that C and D make a group, right? For trait 3, it's just in C, so it doesn't tell us much. Trait 4 tells us that B and E somehow are together because they share that same trait. For trait 5, it groups all of them together, B, C, D, and E. So we could put a little bracket around these and say they are closely related by that trait. Trait 6 puts F and G together, so they're their own little group outside of the B, C, D, and E. Trait 7 also shows that F and G are together. Trait 8 puts all of these, B, C, D, E, F, and G together, so we could put another bracket around all of these guys. And then trait 9 is just in one species, that doesn't tell us much, and trait 10 groups B and E together again, which we already knew. Okay, so if I were to draw this tree, I would say, alright, B and E are a group together, and C and D are a group together, so they both emerged from each other, right? And that they share a common ancestor somewhere down here, okay? And then we see that F and G are outside of those four, so F and G form a clade, and they are sister to these guys. And then A, if you look, A was way outside, it didn't share anything with anybody else, so A must have branched off before. And so there you have a tree. It's not super neat and tidy, but that's what it would look like with A and then F and G coming off, then C and D coming off, and then B and E. Hopefully that helps you as you go to answer questions on the test.